on Gen Alpha slang. I don't blame you. It's hard to listen to a child say skibbity toilet riz and keep a straight face. But what if I told you that this slang is the future of the English language, and it's a good thing? Think about how many times older generations have rolled their eyes when you use the latest slang, corrected you for using bad English, or made a comment about how kids these days are ruining the English language. Really, English today isn't any worse than it was when your parents were kids or when Shakespeare was in his prime. It's simply different. Students, when your parents started using the words what's up, whatever, or duh, they were looked down upon by their grandparents too. Now, we use these words every day without thinking about it. When Shakespeare first coined the terms bedazzled or inevitable, British aristocrats were skeptical. But they came around. Firstly, because it's Shakespeare, and secondly, because language evolves. When the world changes, so does language. It has to. Otherwise, we wouldn't have words for technology or know how to talk about women as individuals. If someone had used the term businesswoman prior to 1827, when its first use was recorded, people would have been shocked and confused because women weren't allowed to work in business. Today, we use this word a lot because society has changed. We need to be able to put into words what we experience every day, and these experiences definitely aren't the same today as they were in the 1300s. So, humans have to get creative. When someone tries to put an idea into words that hasn't been expressed before, there's a ripple effect. If the person they're talking to thinks that this new term is helpful, they'll use it when talking to their friends, who will use it when talking to their friends, and so on. A while later, this term will be commonly used. Language undergoes a sort of natural selection. If someone creates a word for doing push-ups while riding on a horse on the beach at twilight, it's not going to catch on because no one does push-ups while riding on a horse on the beach at twilight. However, if someone creates a verb for looking something up on Google, which obviously hasn't done, it does catch on, because you can use it every day in so many different situations. That's why we have the verb to Google. It's short, easy to understand, and catchy. It can be conjugated like any other verb. I Google, you Google, she Googles, etc. In this case, language evolved because it needed to, and now it's more efficient. So, what does this tell us about Gen Alpha slang? If you're hearing it, it has context, it's useful, and you should respect it. The rising popularity of social media has accelerated linguistic transformation. Previously, the process of adopting a new word was a slow one because it had to travel by word of mouth. Today, when someone posts a video with an innovative new term, it takes days before it feels like the whole world is using it. Social media itself also changes language. Because we are so used to using abbreviations when texting each other, we're more likely to speak in short forms when we're talking in real life, or IRL. Furthermore, we have new words like DMing or doom scrolling that exist because of social media. If you're interested in hearing more about how language has changed with the internet, I would recommend reading Because Internet, Understanding How Language is Changing, or checking out Etymology Nerd on Instagram and TikTok. Now, one of the reasons why we feel the need to hate on Gen Alpha speech is because of this rapid transformation. We're afraid of what we can't control, and it's hard to keep up with the English language when there's a new trending word every couple of days. Social media puts users into echo chambers, which is when you're fed back the information you want to hear. Since most of us don't want to be watching Skibbity Toilet or hearing about the newest Gen Alpha slang, our algorithms won't show it to us. So, instead of embracing linguistic evolution, we tell younger generations that they're wrong for not using the same language we do. Last summer, I took a linguistics course, which is the scientific study of language. I learned about syntax, which is what you know as grammar, phonetics and phonology, which analyze sounds and in what context they're produced, and psycholinguistics and sociolinguistics, which examine the effect of language on individuals and groups. However, before I learned all of this technical stuff, I learned about the difference between prescriptivism and descriptivism. Prescriptivism is that attitude I've been talking about, when you tell people what language should be, and assume that there's a right and wrong way to use it. On the other hand, descriptivism is when you describe language exactly how it is used, and believe that if language is used in a certain way, then it must be right. There is no wrong. It is a linguist's responsibility to practice descriptivism, and it should be yours too. Prescriptivism has been the cause of discrimination against many different groups at many different times. We get so caught up in our idolatry of the Queen's English that we deem everything that strays too far from it as something that needs to be eliminated. Now, you all know that language and identity are closely tied together. English is a part of you, French is likely a part of you. Many of you know other languages that are a part of you too. When someone insults the language you use, it doesn't make you feel good. When you prescribe language as bad, it ostracizes the people who are proud to use it. If you call Québécois not real French or something of the sort, it ostracizes the Québécois who are proud to speak it. If you call American Sign Language not a real language, it ostracizes the people who are proud to use it and perpetuates social inequality. Prescriptivism leads us towards a future where we don't respect linguistic diversity, and we feel forced to talk the same and act the same. We need English and other languages to be a mix of what's used by people of different cultures, social classes, genders, ages, etc., and for new types of people to shape the future of the language. Put simply, this keeps things interesting. In Columbia University linguistics professor John McWhorter's book, What Language Is and What It Isn't, and What It Could Be, he writes that when not subject to outside influences, language is ingrown. Now, what this means is that isolated languages experience a sort of evolution inwards. Over time, words become more similar and lose diversity. So, what does all this linguistics talk have to do with Gen Alpha slang? We need future generations to shape the future of the English language to keep it from growing stagnant and unable to meet the needs of future society. So no, kids these days aren't ruining the English language. They'll likely look down on their kids in a couple of decades for using the latest slang, and in turn be looked down upon for being behind the times. But if we start practicing descriptivism today, maybe it'll happen a little less, and maybe the world will respect diversity a little more. So the next time you feel like cringing when you hear a kid open their mouth, don't. Think instead, wow, this little genius is keeping English interesting. Thank you.